Good morning. My name is Joe Bandel, and I am the last Rosicrucian. Today we're going to talk about how the church itself satanized the world. After the church renounced physical life in all its forms, Satan became what was good for physical life, period. He was the god of the intellect, which originally included the rational atheists, people that believed in logic and reason and didn't believe in anything spiritual or non-physical at all. But he took over their stance and went even further by including a spiritual element, a non-physical element into existence. But he was the god of the intellect, which originally included those people. He governed the infinite realm of thoughts and philosophy, which constantly overthrew the law and order of old ways of looking at things. He was the master of thinking outside the box. And that's what the evolutionary process is thinking outside the box. This is a force, evolutionary force is constantly trying new ways. He represented quantum leaps into the future. He excited the curiosity of people by explaining hidden things and in putting interpretations on signs and omens. He gave the outsider or the person that was shunned courage to stand up against the unfairness of a politically correct world and destroy that politically correct world so that something new might emerge from it, something that was new and more fair. He encouraged the sciences to basically rape the earth to improve the human condition and devise new means of travel so that different cultures could mingle and cross-fertilize each other. It was a civilizing, evolutionary influence that we're talking, and the only way that could move forward is to destroy the old. So always newness was a key concept here. He dragged heaven down to earth and shook the earthly kingdoms as if they were dice. He was always persecuted, always destroyed, but he always emerged in a new form that was more powerful and beautiful than before. A force of nature. Even though he was eternally conquered, he still remained the eternal conqueror because he always came back. They could not get rid of him. They could not get rid of this energy. It's not right to personify Satan as a person because it's an energy. It's the energy of life itself. And it always comes back. 1,000 times the church believed it had destroyed him, and in doing so, it satanized and degraded itself. Satan became that which was eternally evil, and the eternally evil was life itself. If you take the Kabbalistic thinking and you take life, live, turn it around backwards, and you have evil. Evil and life, they mean, and Kabbalistically, if you swap something around, they both mean the same. Life and evil were considered the same thing. Everything that came out of greatness was evil and contrary to God's law, because God's law was to go back to source, to go back to the spirit, to become less than what you were before, to become nothing. It was the negation of a negation. So this movement, this evolutionary movement, was a negation of the Christian church's viewpoint, which was a negation of life. So this Satanism that we're talking about was an affirmation of life, but it was couched in an anti-church framework because it was reactionary and it came about as a reaction against the church itself. But at its core, at its depth, it had that original source from the early goddess religions as organic Gnosticism, which was, as I mentioned, in many cases, the understanding of duality as the loving embrace of male and female as opposed to the eternal conflict of good and evil. Satan was the curiosity that drove Columbus to unknown lands. It was evil. Alchemy, the mother of the chemical sciences, was evil. Bad weather, widespread famine, and death, they were all the result of consulting with astrologers and psychics. Gregory the Great took great pride in his shameless stupidity and even forbade the study of grammar. Grammar is forbidden. Can't study that. The simplicity of St. Francis of Assisi was considered, now that was good. And so was the killing of personal will and desire. Everything that your heart is telling you, everything that your body is telling you, everything that your core is trying to share, deny all that, repress all that, push everything of that away and negate it. Go into your head. This is what the church had become, is go away, get out of life. The church had become anti-life. I need to stress this because the only movement that was pro-life at that time was what the church was calling Satanism. Emotions, the death of the emotions. The church is calling for the death of emotions and the death of passions. They wanted everybody to go around like zombies without any life in them at all. And there was people that spoke out. We're jumping ahead several centuries, but Nietzsche taught the revaluation of all values in the name of Satan. Anarchists dreamed of reforming the laws of the world. Artists created works which could only be interpreted and understood through a secret code that other people didn't understand. And here's a kind of an interesting statement. It says, a contemptible stupidity ruled the vast masses of Christianity who believed that evolution was evil. Evolution in religion was heresy. The teachings of the church could not evolve. That was heresy. Evolution in art was weak-mindedness. They knew what art was, and you couldn't go further with it. It had to stay within the confines of what it was recognized. Evolution in politics was treason. And evolution in life was perversion. So what we're looking at in this post What we're really talking about is evolution. We're talking about life trying new things, exploring new areas, and the resistance to that. Uh, Now, you have to understand that if life progresses too fast, too quickly, it could collapse. But that first progression, it does need to expand. It does need to evolve. And it evolves in quantum leaps. It can only go as fast as the lowest levels will allow. And it reaches a chaotic period. I've been writing a lot recently about chaos theory, the chaos science, and how energy systems progress in an orderly manner to the point where they can't progress any further and they become chaotic. And when they become chaotic, after the stress gets too great, they burst through, they make a quantum leap to a new stage. That's what our world, that's what our society is currently experiencing. It is experiencing that chaotic phase where it cannot go any further without a quantum leap. And when we make that quantum leap, we're going to leave some people behind. They're not going to be a part of it. And that's their choice, because we're taking as many people in this quantum leap, we're taking as much of the earth in this quantum leap as humanly possible to make this world a better place, to bring heaven down on earth. And this was the message of bringing fire down, the Prometheus message, bringing the divine fire down to earth, making heaven on earth. Well, I'm out of time for this video. If you liked it, share it with others. Please get the message out. Subscribe. Visit my website. My main website is thelastrosicrucian.is. I'm putting out a lot of information these days between now and Christmas. So get in on it. There's a donation link. You can donate on my webpage. That would be appreciated to help this work move forward. Everything helps. If you're sharing it with others, if you can donate a little bit, all of that helps, because I believe this is important material that really needs to be shared at this crisis point that our society and humanity is feeling. And I believe that we need to move from a duality of conflict, of the duality of good and evil. We need to move away from that to the understanding of a duality of the loving embrace of male and female. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.